Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Kazzalistic, and hi if you're new. So today we will be looking at something I've made as a Christmas gift. This is not for a YouTube person, this is actually for a little girl that I happen to know. She is the niece of the friend that I care for. This basically is for her. She asked me to, she loves crochet, she's actually even shown an interest in learning, and oh dear, the camera does like going blurry just recently, I'm sorry about that. She has even tried to have a go, bless her. She just doesn't have the dexterity for it at the minute, but no doubt every time she visits it's going to be a regular thing, I suspect now, which is exciting because she's interested in it. So she asked me to make her a Rainbow Bright pony. It's part of the My Little Pony range. Obviously this is not an exact copy, this is just sort of, you know, as near a thing I could do without it being an exact thing. It's not my own pattern. So to start with, the pattern is the Magical Baby Unicorn pattern by Jayda Institches. She does have a website, and I will obviously link her website in the description. She also has a YouTube tutorial, so you can get the whole of the pattern on YouTube for free. The pattern is paid for, and the reason I paid for the pattern was because I needed, Rainbow Bright has wings, and I needed the bit for the wings. So, the tutorial does have don't include a horn, but obviously Rainbow Bright doesn't have a horn. So, what did we use? So for the main body colour, I used a 6mm hook. The pattern called for 8, but the yarn wasn't thick enough. It calls for a chunky yarn, and I just didn't have any that was the right colour. So this body colour is actually some that Kelly from I'm Yarn Inspired sent me, which was Stylecraft Special DK. And the colour is Cloud Blue, and it's 1019. There we go. So it's a very pale blue. And what I did was I double stranded it, so I took it from the outside and the inside of the ball and put them together and worked it so it was double thickness, and did it with 6mm instead of 8mm, and that seems to have worked. So I mean the pattern is quite, you know, basic. It's sort of increases a few rows, decreases to the body, a couple of increased rows, and then just straight crocheting up to the legs. Head was a little bit more complicated. There is a bit more shaping involved. Obviously I can't go into too much because obviously pattern is copyrighted, and I obviously don't want to, you know, get in trouble. The ears were quite simple again, just a few single and double crochets in there, bit fiddly to stitch on, as for the eyes. So if we go with the face to start with, the eyes, the white I've used white, black, and the pink is called fondant. I don't know if you can see, I've put a little bit of pink. Now the pattern didn't have pink on it, however Rainbow Bright does have a little bit of pink around the black of her eyes, and she also has a black line that runs round to about there with eyelashes. So these are things that I've added on that are not part of the pattern. So the black that I've used, all the yarns apart from the one I've just shown you are all Mariner double knit. So for the black of the eyes and for the eyelashes I've used black C-045. I'm going to try and rattle through these fairly quickly because there's quite a lot of different colours. For the whites of the eyes I've used, and this is a new code, that was an old code, white, which is 040. There we go. And then for the pink part of the eye I've used, again this is a newer one, 052, and it's called Fondant, which I think you've all seen quite a few times now with other projects. There we go. Right, and then The wings are actually made in two parts. There is a front and a back, and you stitch them together. Quite simple. I don't know that I could have done it by myself. Maybe I could have done, but it would have taken me ages to figure out, so I was glad I bought the pattern. Rainbow Bright actually has two sets of wings. I will put a picture of Rainbow Bright at the end of the video, and then a picture of this so you can see it a bit more closely. Rainbow Bright has two sets of wings, but I decided just to make one because there's going to be so much starting it. I mean, this has taken me about 2 months to make, on and off, so in between other projects. So yeah, so that's a front and a back again for the wings stitched together. The Applique again is a Jayda Institches tutorial. The colours are all the same colours and follow the same pattern of colours as the mane and the tail, which I'll go into in a second. And the cloud is also part of the Applique for Jayda, so obviously I will put the tutorial for that link down below as well. And I've got that on both sides. On the actual original Rainbow Bright it's more like a zigzag, but it was just easy to do that because it was hard just kind of fitting it all on. So for the Applique and the mane and the tail I used a 3mm hook, so it's a teeny tiny one. I hope you're impressed that I've remembered the hook size this time, because I quite often forget to say hook size, don't I? So for the mane, basically what you do is you do a chain of 25 and you put 5 single crochets into each and every stitch, working from the second chain from the hook, and it basically creates these spirals, and I think they're really cute, and I think it gives it a bit more sturdy, especially for, you know, young kids when they're playing. And then instead of just doing it in continuously one colour, I've just changed colours, and I've knotted the two ends just to make it a bit more secure. Obviously weaved in all my ends. So the mane obviously goes from red to orange to yellow to green to blue to, that actually looks quite black on camera, but it's actually a very dark purple, sort of a plum colour. And then the tail follows the same sequence of bits. So the mane stops here, that's the bottom. So for the mane and the tail, the red was Mariner double knit, and you have to excuse me, a lot of my labels are falling off and broken and stuff. So it was a Mariner double knit, shade CO32 red. Again, this is one of the older codes. The next one again is an older code. My label band is broken, I'll just wrap it around, make it look nice. And the code is CO14 and it's orange. That doesn't want to focus, but you have to take my word for it. This one again is an older code, C-003, and it's lemon, which is the yellow colour. It's a very pale yellow. Okay. And then for the green, it's one of the newer codes. It's shade 091 and it is emerald. The next colour is blue, and again this is one of the older codes, C-024 Sax. It's a slightly darker blue than the Stylecraft. And the final colour, and I've not got much left and I can't get any more of this, is a Mariner double knit, and it's one of the newer codes, and it's 017 and it's purple, and I have not been able to find this anywhere. And it's basically a dark plum colour. I do apologise for the lighting. It's been getting dark here about 2:30. It's been getting, it seems to be getting earlier, even though we've hit the shortest day already. It's yeah, it's getting so dark so early. So I've got the headlight on and the craft light, and it's just not looking particularly great. So I do apologise for the lighting. It's just the time of year. I know it's not ideal. So that's basically Rainbow Dash. I'd love to know what you think, whether you actually think it looks anything like it. I said to little Madam on Skype earlier, because we're seeing her I'm recording this, I don't even know what the date is today. I think it's the 21st today. I think it's the shortest day. It's Wednesday. It's the Wednesday before Christmas I'm recording this. Obviously I'll be putting this up after Christmas, but we are seeing her tomorrow to be able to give this to us, which is why I'm having to record it ahead of time. But I'd love to know what you think. It's kind of hard to sort of go into too much about the pattern because obviously it is copyrighted and it is a paid for pattern. The only bit I forgot to mention is there is a neck part as well that goes wide and then narrow. It's kind of hard to see through the mane. It does stand just. Mane did make it a bit top heavy. It should have come up a lot bigger than this. Obviously I should have used an 8mm hook and thicker yarn. So I think the mane I did 4 strands for each colour on the mane. I think perhaps I should have done 3. My original one I did when I first started YouTube, I think I did 5 strands, so I was kind of basing it on that, but I think I might have overdone it a bit on the mane, but I don't know, maybe she'll like it. I'm really worried. You know what it's like when the kids, because if they don't like it they tell you and I'll just be heartbroken, but yeah, fingers crossed. So I'd love to know what you think. Overall I'm fairly pleased with it. It's as near as Rainbow Dash as I'm ever going to get, because that was quite a complicated pattern. But I will say Jayda's patterns and her tutorials are very clear and they're very easy to follow. So if you've never come across her and you do like aragaramis, because that's her main speciality, she does do some blanket patterns as well, but it's mainly aragami. I'm never quite sure which way you're supposed to say it, but hey, toys. Yeah, so that's it. Sorry it's a little bit rushed, but there's quite a lot of yarn to fit in, and yeah, I don't know how else to explain the pattern. Do you ever struggle trying to explain things if you're a YouTuber as well? It's just like so complicated that it blows your mind, but it's not complicated because it's simple. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Anyway, I'm waffling. So by the time you see this, Christmas will be done and dusted. So I hope you had a good Christmas. Love to know if you got anything exciting, especially on the yarn front. So do share. So until next time, stay well, happy crafting, and remember to stay true to yourself. Bye.